Hey there, Michael Griffiths here, founder of Referral Marketing Guru, and welcome to this week's Get More Referrals Today podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about lead magnets, and in particular, why lead magnets generally, like 95% of the time, just simply don't work. And it's not really because of your lead magnet. It's because you don't actually understand what they're there for, and more importantly, what the prospect landscape looks like. So before we dive into that, as always, if this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you also head over to YouTube, Referral Marketing Guru, and follow us for weekly videos on how to be able to grow your business through referrals, through strategic partners, through your networks, and actually by getting people to pick up your lead magnet rather than just simply look at it. So let's start here. And to me, I think this is really important to understand rather than just simply going, oh, if I put out a lead magnet, I'll start getting leads. And then I'll start getting clients. Because the simple fact is, just because someone gets your lead magnet doesn't mean they're going to become a client. And in fact, I'd probably go 95% of the time, they're not going to become a client. And it's because of this. To me, there are four types of people. There are what we call gray people. Those people don't have the pain point that you solve, and they're not really looking for a solution. It's amazing how many gray people you have around you right now, in your CRM, on your social media platforms, but you see them as leads because they are people. I might say, for example, we help service professionals to be able to grow their business. So we help them build strategic partner networks. We help them fill their pipeline with new prospects. We help them get more referrals. But if I saw every single service professional as a prospect for us, then I would be greatly disappointed because I know there are so many service professionals that don't want to grow their business. And then there's another bunch of service professionals that don't want to grow their business through referrals or through strategic partners. They would much prefer to just simply spend money on paid ads. And that's perfect. That's their way of doing it. So a great person, you have to actually understand, isn't your prospect. And you can't have them in and around your world thinking that they're eventually going to buy from you because they're just not. So should always be removing gray people every single day. Then you got red people. Red people have the pain point that you solve, but it's just not a priority for them right now. So it could take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years before they actually decide to do something with you. But you need red people around you. So if a red person got your lead magnet, perfect. But they're going to take time to nurture. So you have to continue to deepen the relationship with those people, add value to those people, show those people how your solution can help them. And when their timing is ready, they will move to now being a yellow person. Yellow person, I have the pain point. It is a priority. I've just got a couple of obstacles or a roadblock or two that I've got to sort out first. And then I'd love to be able to see whether you can help me. They move from yellow people to green people. I've got the pain point. It is a priority. Can I see whether your solution is the fit I'm looking for or not? So here's the problem when someone gets our lead magnet. We automatically think that they are green people. That, oh, because they got this, they must be ready to buy. And the sad fact is there's like maybe 2% of green people at any given time. The majority of people are red and yellow. So why do you actually need a lead magnet? Well, the lead magnet will sort out who are the gray people, the people who don't have the pain point, who aren't looking for a solution, versus who are the red, yellow, green. Now, unfortunately, when they get your lead magnet, they don't say, oh, I'm green, oh, I'm red, and I'm just looking. I'm going to take years to make a decision. Oh, I'm yellow. I've got the pain point. I'd really like a solution, but I'm probably going to be a couple of months away. It doesn't happen. So therefore, you have to treat them differently. You have to assume that everyone's red. That's what I would assume. Unfortunately, what most people assume is that everyone's green. So they go, are you ready to buy? 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 And what ends up happening? You annoy them and they leave. A lead magnet is there to identify the gray people from the red, yellow, green people. That's its first purpose. So if I have a lead magnet as an example, we have one called 100 referrals through 100 clients, all through referrals in the next 12 months. Now, no one's going to get that unless they want 100 clients all through referrals. We have another lead magnet, which is building your $1 million referral monthly masterclass. No one's going to come to that unless they're interested in building their $1 million referral system. We have another lead magnet that says a quick guide to building your $1 million referral system. No one's going to get that guide unless getting referrals into their business is a priority for them. And that doesn't mean that it's a priority right now. That might be a priority somewhere into the future. But anyone who doesn't want to grow their business through referrals or strategic partners won't come and get that. So the first thing is your lead magnet has to make sure that you are sorting out the gray people. You want the gray people over there, the people who don't have the pain point that you solve. So you've got to sort out the gray people from the people who believe that they have the pain point that you solve. That is the first part, the first responsibility of your lead magnet. So therefore, your title needs to make sure that it does exactly that. The second thing that becomes the problem is it doesn't get out there. So you promote it on your social medias. And it's like, well, most of the people on your social media aren't even red, yellow, green people. They're all gray people anyway. I could take most people's social media and go through their friends, their connections and followers, and they're just simply not people who will ever buy from you. You've got great numbers. That makes you feel good, but they're never going to buy from you. So in the end, you're putting out things such as come and get my ABC, and nobody does. That tells you you've got the wrong people on there. You've got great people on there. That's why they're not doing it. Because it's not actually something which they feel is going to improve their life right now. They're going to make their life better. So that now becomes a problem. Well, who's going to get this lead magnet for me to actually build my pipeline and get leads into it for me to be able to start nurturing them? And this is where I feel what we do is just paramount to grow in a business. The best way to be able to utilize your lead magnet is through cross promotions and strategic partners. For people to be able to share what it is your lead magnet is to their audience, and then only the people who are actually interested in that, who believe that they've got that pain point, will come and join you. Here's an example. I could, for example, I could promote to our network somebody who has, let me just think, someone who does HR. And they're going to run a masterclass on the biggest mistakes you make, the 6 biggest HR mistakes you're making in your business right now. And let's say then I share that masterclass out to our networks. Well, the only people who are going to register for that masterclass are people who have employees, so HR is actually a thing, who believe that HR is a problem or a priority that they want to fix, who don't already have a HR manager. So they are now self-selecting to who's going and who's not going. So the person who's running it can safely assume that everyone who's turned up to it actually has a HR problem. Now, that doesn't mean that they're ready to buy. That doesn't mean that they're ready to get a HR manager like instantly. It just simply means that in their mind, that HR is a pain point for them right now. To what extent? Well, that's where you've got to get into conversations. See, the whole purpose of a lead magnet, whatever it happens to be, it could be a guide, it could be a video, it could be a checklist, it could be a masterclass. It really doesn't matter. The whole purpose of it is to then get into conversations, to be able to find out more about that person's pain point, to find out more about what they're looking for. Why did they come to that masterclass, or why did they get that guide, or why did they get that checklist? You see, there's so many things that we just assume. And as you know that saying, make an assumption, it makes an ass out of you and me. And that's what we do every single day, because we go, oh, someone just got my lead magnet. They must be ready to buy from me. No, they're not. 2% of people are ready to buy from you. And until you talk to them, you won't actually even know whether that's them or not. So what you need to think about is when someone actually, and I call it, puts up their hand to say, hey, over here, I feel like I've got this pain point that you might be able to solve. The very next thing you've got to start doing is not just send them crap. Hey, like email sequences and automation, and yeah, they've got their place. But if all you're ever going to do is just go, here's more info, here's more info, here's more info, here's more info, here's more info. Well, either something's going to click, unlikely, or eventually they're just going to leave. Because you're missing the key ingredient, actually caring about what their problem is, finding out what their problem is. And if someone doesn't want to respond to you, then they obviously didn't have a big enough problem for them to want to start talking to you. That's how you can start knowing whether they're red, yellow, and green. Because the green people will talk back to you. The yellow people will talk back to you. The red people won't answer you. So you can start saving yourself an awful lot of hassle and energy by simply, when someone gets your lead magnet, start the conversation with them. Start talking to them. And then you'll start realizing where they sit and how much of a priority getting the thing that they believe is their pain point, the thing that you solve, how much of a priority is it to them really? So you've really got to change the way you think about what your lead magnet, I call it our attraction tool, actually does. And every business needs one. If you don't have an attraction tool, straight lead magnet, then already you've got no way of identifying the grey people versus the red, yellow, green people. You've got no way of attracting prospects to your business. So you have to, A, have one, and then B, you need to be able to get it exposure. So you can get it exposure by paid ads. So many people have their attraction tool as a sponsored ad on Facebook, on Google, on LinkedIn. Perfect. That's one way to do it. We get our attraction tool, and we make sure that our clients get their attraction tool, their lead magnet, exposure through strategic partners, through cross promotions, through being able to be on other people's podcasts and webinars and events so that they can share what they've got. And then they know that the only people who are coming and getting that thing believe that they have the pain point that needs to be solved. So I hear all the time people going, well, I just don't get enough leads. Well, no, not getting enough leads isn't the problem. It's because you haven't actually got exposure to your attraction tool. You're trying to get exposure just on your social media platforms, and you've got the wrong people on your social media platforms. So you actually need to create relationships and partnerships with other people who can promote it. And therefore, anyone in their networks who actually feel that what it is that you're talking about is going to help them, they will now give you their data for you to keep conversations with. Hopefully that's been super helpful, and it really starts to get a light bulb clicked and on in terms of how you start bringing more prospects into your pipeline, and then what you need to do once they actually say, hey, here I am, I feel like I might have that pain point. As always, if you need any assistance, please reach out, support@michaelgriffiths.com.au, or comment wherever you happen to be watching this on our socials or our YouTube, and can't wait to be able to see you again next week. Take care all.